Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you're new, go ahead and hit that subscribe button because I've got a lot of information that you might be interested in. Today I'm going to do a follow-up video on my How to Homeschool vlog. We'll just call this a series, How to Homeschool. Today I'm going to be covering charter schools. I thought I'd do a video of charter schools versus, homeschooling privately versus umbrella schools, but there's just too much information. I want to make sure that I cover each area adequately. So today, again, we're going to be going over charter schools. I thought I'd cover charter schools first because it's what I personally am most familiar with. We homeschool through a charter school, and it's actually kind of a large chain of charter schools in our area that kind of cross Southern California. So the program that we are involved in right now is just simply their homeschool program. I am given an ES, also known as an educational specialist. I am also given funds to buy curriculum. Now this is seriously the Mac Daddy of homeschooling when you homeschool with a charter school. As most of you know, homeschooling can be a little bit expensive if you're wanting to do some kind of package curriculum deal. Now I'm gonna do a video on how you can do it cheap, but the nice thing about charter schools is that they give you the money to buy the curriculum. Now they don't just give you cash to do this, they give you a set amount of money, and I go into their bookstore, online bookstore, and I'm able to pick out curriculum based on what they have for each grade of my child. It's been really nice to do this, and they ship it right to me. And that's pretty much it. There's also other ways that you can do it on various other websites. It's a little more work to get this curriculum from this particular website. You have to, go through your ES who has to notify someone else that you want to buy a certain product off of this website. But when you do it through their bookstore, you just have to click, put it in your cart, and order it, and they send it right to you, which is awesome. Another element to this program that we take advantage of is the enrichment classes. That has been really awesome. This year my kids are going 2 days a week, and I have chosen, I think it's 4 classes per day, 8 total for each of them. Now for my son who's in 1st grade, all of these classes are electives. There's no homework for them. It's more just kind of giving him a taste of school, but we don't have to turn anything in. He does have a writing class. He has a Spanish class. I'm trying to think what else he has. He has a PE class. He has a math, fun, and games class. He has a class that goes over all of the states in the United States, and he comes home with work that he's done in each one of these classes. My daughter, on the other hand, who's in 3rd grade, she has a bunch of those classes as well. One of her favorite ones is a class devoted just for American Girl, which is pretty awesome. Another one of her favorite classes is her musical theater class. But one class I really like and take advantage of is her math class. I send her to school 2 days a week, just like my son. And on these 2 days, she has a math class. And she has a teacher, she has work to do, they do lessons, and that pretty much covers all of her math, which for me, not being so great at math is really awesome. She does have homework that she has to do when she comes home, and she has like a little homework packet, but that way I don't really have to worry that I am not adequately teaching her math, which I think is really important. I'm in contact with that teacher all the time, so that if I have a problem with the packet we can't figure it out, I can get a hold of her immediately, and usually she gets right back to me to help us figure out whatever it is that we're struggling with in that particular math section. Now on the ES side, this is what makes it a little tricky, and sometimes this is where you might get a little turned off to charter schools. I do have to take attendance for my kids. I have to write out what we did, at least a little portion of what we did every single day through a separate website. and I have to turn it into my ES every day. Now, when I first started homeschooling, I had to do this for each subject that we covered every day. Since then, they've laxed a little bit with that, and I'm able to just put a little bit of what we've done for that day. I also have to turn in samples for each subject area that we are covering at home. Now, I'm not covering all subject areas because my kids are in enrichment classes. Both of them have science classes. One of them has a history class. The other one we're doing history at home with, but we kind of all lump it all together. So I can take from the work that they bring home and submit that to my ES. However, the other things that we go through, I have to make sure I'm keeping track of what we're doing so that I can turn it in. My kids also have to do proctored tests. At the beginning of the year, they had to take a proctored reading test, and my daughter, who is in 3rd grade, is going to be having to take a proctored math test. That's just making sure that we are doing what we need to on our end to make sure that they are at grade level. Again, this may seem really overwhelming for some parents that are thinking about going the charter school route. I know for me, this was quite a wake-up call, making sure that I had to be doing something with my kids every single day. But I look at it as it's keeping me accountable to make sure that we are doing something every day and we're covering the areas that we need to. I also have to come up with kind of a tentative lesson plan for the year. I start that at the beginning of the school year and I email it to my ES. But on the flip side of that, now this is where it kind of takes a little bit of a turn from a private homeschooling situation, is that we fall under whatever political educational plan is going on. So right now that is under the Obama kind of era educational plan. At one point it was the No Child Left Behind with President Bush. We are subject to that because we're technically a public school. Now you might be thinking, for me personally, why would you put your kids in a public school type of setting when you are homeschooling them to kind of keep them away from that? And my answer to that is I'm not a teacher. I do not have my degree in education, and that does not stop a lot of people. And some of my friends especially that don't have their degree in education are excellent teachers. Like honestly, if they went ahead, and that would have been what they did, because they are so gifted in lesson planning and making sure that they have the right curriculum and making sure that their child is at or above grade level. Me, on the other hand, I know that this would be an issue for me because I struggled through school, and I want to make sure that I'm keeping myself and my kids accountable for the education standards. Another nice thing about charter schools is because my kids are going to enrichment classes, they do have social interactions, and this is good and bad. You can kind of take what you want with this, but my daughter, for instance, is really social. She is like a social butterfly, and she loves being around people. She thrives in that environment, and it's hard for her to be at home all the time because she just craves that social interaction with her friends. My son, on the other hand, is completely the opposite. He would rather be at home. He likes to just be quiet and, sit and play with his Legos or his cars or whatever, and the thought of him going to school gives him anxiety. The first couple of weeks of school, my son was dealing with some real anxiety with going to school. For both of them, it has been so helpful. For my daughter, it kind of meets that social need that she has. For my son, it kind of pushes him that he needs to interact with people and to be able to talk to them and socialize with other kids. I've seen my son grow leaps and bounds this year. Just in the couple of weeks, I think 10, 11 weeks that we've been in school, he has grown so much socially, and I'm so proud of him because I know that it's hard for him, but he's doing really well. Activities is another thing that is really nice to be part of a charter school. My kids, if they want to do karate, gymnastics, horseback riding, which they've done all of those, if they fall under a specific vendor that the school offers, the school will pay for it. So those particular things, especially the horseback riding and karate, were not cheap at all. I think if we did that on our own, my husband and I, it would have been, I think if John and I did that on our own, we wouldn't have been able to, because it's expensive and it's a monthly cost that we can't eat up in our own personal budget, but the school pays for that. So in the beginning of us doing homeschooling and the charter school situation, we kind of did whatever the kids wanted to do, the horseback riding, gymnastics, and karate. Now we are a little more choosy as to what we do, because we realized quickly that those things took time. A lot of times it was precious time that we didn't have that just made life a little more stressful, and the kids got burnt out and we got burnt out. So now we have a one or none rule. They choose one thing or none or nothing. Now my son isn't really doing anything right now. My daughter is doing choir at church, but that's okay. If my son chooses that he wants to play baseball or, whatever, the school, if it falls under that vendor, the school will pay for it, which is awesome. So that's pretty much charter schooling in a nutshell. If you have any questions about it, go ahead and leave them in the comments and I will get back to you, because I love talking about this subject. Again, if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. We would love to have you part of our family. Thank you so much for watching.